People, it's me, Kinghuman. Listen up. I'm going to put you on the path to success, teach you how to make money on demand, but it's going to take some work. Hang on, let me take a sip here. Okay, what's doing? I want to continue to make these videos I call conversations with friends. Basically, I turn on the camera, I sit down in front of it, and I talk to you as if you were my best buddy and we were having a conversation at lunch. And I think these are important videos because you have to realize what's going on here. You have been programmed for failure by the institution, the insidious institution that is called the educational system. Now, let's think about this. You go to school, and what are you taught at school? And I'm primarily talking about grade school through high school at this point. I'll talk about advanced education in a minute, but right now I want to talk about the basic education. You go to school, and I mean you spend years and years and years in this institution. And what is this institution geared for? Basically, it is a factory designed to churn out cheap labor for the corporate industrial complex. Why do I say that? You think about, oh, somebody's coming to my door. I can't answer. Okay, think about the education you got in school, even high school. Were there any classes in that school that taught you how to be a success in life? How to make your own way in life? Anything that was self-empowering? Anything that gave you the tools you needed to open up your own business? Did they even encourage that? No, they squashed that entrepreneurial spirit. It was never even addressed. At least for me going through school, and it was common for every school I knew in my area. Anecdote. I remember about the age of 13 or so, they gave us a career aptitude test. And this test was supposed to be designed to tell us what we were going to be when we got to be old enough. So we took the little test and made little black dots and answered all the stupid questions they had that some idiot designed, you know. And then after the test, we sat down with a career guidance counselor who counseled us and told us what we should be in life. And I remember this like it was yesterday. They take one kid and they sit him down and they go, oh, well, we see from your aptitude test that, you know, you're probably going to be good with your hands. So you should maybe think about becoming a construction worker, you know. And then the next kid, they pull him in and they go, oh, well, you're good with your mechanical aptitude is good. So you should become a welder or work on cars, you know, get a job working on cars. And then another person would come, oh, your verbal skills are really high. You should become a retail sales representative, get a job at the Gap. You know, not once did they pull any of those kids aside and say, oh, you know what? You're really good. You're going to be good in carpentry. So, you know what? Why don't you become a contractor? Open up your own contracting business and have people work for you. Build up that business. No, they don't encourage that. They didn't take the welder kid or the kid that, you know, they told to work on cars. They didn't tell him to open up his own car shop. They told him to become an employee working on cars. And that's what we got. We were programmed for failure. We were programmed to be cogs in a machine, batteries in the matrix. And it pisses me off because you can be so much more than that. There's no difference between you and that highly successful person out there. The only difference is that highly successful person in there took risks, believed in himself, and took action, and he didn't give up. Those are the keys to success right there. I just handed you the keys to the kingdom. But to get there, you have to unlearn the insidious, self-limiting programming that these institutions have put in your head, that have basically handcuffed you and told you the only thing you're good for is to get a job. I get so angry at this. One of the reasons I started my institute, the KinghumanElite.com, okay, to give myself a little pitch here, if you'll excuse me, because I think it's an important thing. I started my website, the kinghumanelite.com, where I give people the tools, the education, the training, and to become self-empowered. These are things that will enable people to make money on demand from home. These are the same things that I personally used to make tons and tons of money on demand from anywhere in the world. Now, I wouldn't be able to do that if I was still in my self-limiting mindset, which is why I'm also now giving you every month a mindset retraining course. You know, I think it's really important that you address your mental mindset. You know, behavioral science is huge, and it is a science. You know, I mean, a lot of us don't believe in it. A lot of you guys maybe don't believe in it because, you know, anything that has to do with mental and thinking and anything like that, it's so tough to get a grasp on. And you've probably not studied psychology or psychodynamics at all. So you really don't have a grasp of why you think the way you do or why you do the things you do. It's behavioral science. And I'll tell you right now, to distill it down to a bottom line, the way you think and the reason you do the things you do is because you've been programmed to, and that programming you've gotten from birth, and it is so deeply ingrained in your subconscious, you don't even recognize it. You don't even see it. It's invisible. It's baked into the cake. So the first thing you're going to have to do to be a success is unlearn, unlock, and succeed. When I say unlearn, unlearn the garbage that has been pushed into your head from birth. Unlock your brain to new possibilities, expand your horizons, empower yourself, and take risks. When I say take risks, I'm not telling you to go out and buy a bunch of lottery tickets. I'm telling you to take educated risks that will self-empower you. And you know, that's the key. You know, go out. I don't know what your thing is. Maybe you've thought about being an author for years and you always thought, well, I could write that book, and you've never done it because you were afraid. Inside you were afraid. You never admitted to yourself how afraid you were to do that. But do it. Sit down and write that book. It's one step on the path to success. You know, the other thing I want you to do is fail. You're going to fail. You're going to fail again and again and again. But failure is the stepping stone to success. You know, failure does two things that is really good. If you're failing, I respect you, because first it shows me you're taking an effort. You're trying to get out of your programmed matrix bubble. So you are trying. That's great. The other thing is failure teaches us. So if we learn from our failures, eventually we're going to get there. The great thing about failure, you can fail 1,000,000 times. You only have to succeed once. I know a guy who writes Kindle books in the exercise and fitness genre, and I think he's making like 28 grand a month. But it happened because he believed in himself. Now, I want to talk a little bit about some of my Kinghuman elite students, because when I study behavioral science, I see an interesting dynamic, and I've spent the last week analyzing it to try and understand it, and I'll get into it in a minute. So I have some students that I'm really proud of that have become hugely successful, and other students that have done nothing. And what's the difference between the two? First of all, these students, they all come from a situation where they had no opportunities. They looked around. Some of them even emailed me and said, Kinghuman, we got no opportunity. What do we do? The difference is they made their own opportunity and they believed in themselves. Let me give you a couple of examples. There's two kids. I'm not going to say their names because I don't know that they want me to. I didn't even know I was going to talk about them. All of my videos are unscripted. I just sit down and talk. So I don't have permission to use their names. I'm not going to. 2 kids, they're still in high school. And the last time I spoke to them, I think they were making like $30,000 a month. They're best friends. They got together. They were Kinghuman Elite students, and they took a little thing and they ran with it. Business concepts. You know, I don't really take credit for what they became. You know, maybe I put them on the path, but they walked the path themselves. So they were making like 30 grand a month and still going to high school, sitting in front of a teacher that's pontificating, telling them what they need to know to become a success in life. This teacher would kill to make the kind of money these 2 kids are making. And he doesn't even know. I mean, nobody in the school knows how much these kids make. And they have to go to school and listen to these idiots. It's amazing. It's so upside down. But that's what empowerment does. Self-empowerment and believing in yourself. Let me think. Who's another? Oh, I got another student. I won't say his name. He became a Kinghuman Elite member, and he is now what I consider the foremost authority on e-commerce in the world. This guy is huge. And he goes out every day. I mean, he can make money on demand. And now the cool thing is, he's making his own course where he's going to teach other people what he does. It's going to be killer, and it's going to make him a lot of money too. That course is going to make him money. He is knocking it out of the park. Another guy, I almost said his name. He's one of the guys that emailed me and said, hey, Kinghuman, I live in the Ukraine. There's no opportunity here for us, but I wanted to let you know I bought that piece of software you recommended, and I built a company around it, and now I'm making huge money. And he told me how much it was. I forget how much it was, some amazing amount of euros. And then he just went on to make another business in Forex. He built a whole Forex website, and it's knocking it out of the park. And now he's going to build a third business. This guy is on fire. Again, the difference is he believes in himself. He's taking action. He's not afraid to fail. He's going for it, balls to the wall. Who else? I guess I could talk about my 2 buddies, Nick and Kevin, which I've talked about before. These kids are killer. They took one little tiny kernel and built it into a business. I mean, these were 2 kids working at a video store, rewinding videotapes, clerking, minimum wage. They had no opportunity. They had no future. They self-empowered, took one little kernel from me and built it into a big business. I don't know how much they make. I know they make over $1 million in sales a year. And again, you know, it's easy for me to take credit for this, but basically I don't. In fact, I told them, look, you guys did it. You know, maybe you got the inspiration or the key from me, but you guys walked the path. You guys empowered yourself. Because when it comes down to it, all I can do is give you guys the materials, the training, the education. I can give you the mental mindset, the mental reset. But I can't walk that path for you. Everybody has a different path. Everybody has to walk that path themselves. And, you know, I want to give you the best equipment you can have for walking down that path to your personal success. So I want you to go out and fail. I want you to take risks. I want you to get the right education for yourself. Think about becoming a member of the KinghumanElite.com. If there are spaces open, I'm not promising anything. I limit memberships because I'm only one person. I get a lot of emails every day. And when you send an email to me, I answer it. Not some, you know, virtual assistant making, you know, $5 an hour. I think that would be a betrayal. So when you get an email answer from me, you're getting it from me. You're getting my best expertise and my best experience because that's what you're paying for. And that's the other thing. My website is very cheap, $15, you know, and you're getting years and years and years of training and tools. And okay, I'm starting to sound like a commercial for myself. But most important thing I want you guys to do is unlock your mind and self-empower so that you can recognize the opportunities that are around you. There are a billion opportunities all around you. You don't see them because you've been programmed not to. You've been programmed to look for jobs. You know, that's the difference. If there are no opportunities around you, it's not because there are not any opportunities, it's because you're not seeing them. And you're not seeing them because you've been programmed not to see them. You've been programmed to go out and get a J-O-freaking-B. Anyway, I hope this makes sense. We'll continue this conversation in depth. I'll get into advanced education maybe in the next video, but it's important for you guys to trust in yourself and enable yourself and stop being a battery in the matrix. Okay, maximum respect, and donate a few bucks to help a sick kid at St. Jude's Research Hospital for Kids. Booyakasha.